Now, the World Immunization Week is celebrated every year in the last week of April and aims at promoting the use of vaccines to protect people of all ages against diseases. This year's week-long celebration is taking place at a time when the whole world is battling the novel coronavirus pandemic that is claiming thousands of lives and destroying economies worldwide. Ghana has and is still enjoying a remarkable coverage of vaccination against preventable diseases for its citizens, particularly children. The estimated coverage rate for 11 out of 13 currently introduced vaccines in 2018 averaged 87%. The sustainability of this feat could be threatened if a source of domestic financing is not guaranteed quickly. In this respect, the Ghana Immunization Advocacy Initiative IAI network is adopting the global event with the aim of demanding government responsiveness to immunization funding and its utilization to ensure availability of vaccines. That sounds like a lot, but we'll break it down because I have someone joining me via Zoom, Cecilia Seno. She's Executive Director, Hope for Future Generation, also part of the advocacy team championing this agenda, comprising SEND, Hope for Future, etc. Ms. Cecilia is on the via Zoom with me. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, and good afternoon to you and your listeners.
Well, it seems that Ghana is doing well in terms of immunization, but you still see a general concern, something that will threaten all that we have done if we don't look at it. Take us through briefly these concerns.
Okay. And so Ghana has quite a very high immunization coverage, but our immunization interventions are mostly sponsored by donors. And as we move on as a country and as a middle-low income, most of these donors, especially Gavi, who is our major funder of immunization, is likely to fold up. And so that will mean that Ghana has to look for resources to cover immunization in the country for children. And as you are aware, immunization is a right. It is on this that we are calling on government to allocate domestic resources to own immunization for our children. We are a consortium of 3 organizations and other organizations, SEND Ghana, Hope for Future Generations, Coalition of NGOs in Health, Social Health Ghana, WAF, and then Ghana Registered Midwives Association. We have come together calling on government to allocate domestic resources to sustain immunization coverage in Ghana.
Right.
We believe that if children are not immunized, anything that happens, any preventable disease or any disease that can be are the first to get it. So we want to own it.
I just want to find out whether the coalition has engaged any of the government institutions in your particular areas. Have you engaged? What do they tell you? What has the feedback been like?
There has been a lot of engagement. We are still engaging. We are working as a consortium. You know, we are together and we are working as a strong force to engage government. In fact, the COVID-19 has really lowered a lot of interventions we put in place. But before that, we have done a lot of discussion engagement with EPI, Ghana Health Service, and then Ministry of Health. Coalition is part of a number of those platforms. So there has been a lot of engagement. They've been part of our meetings, and there's a lot of promise. We just want to encourage the president and the whole country to ensure that the promise that they have made to Ghanaians and Ghanaian children, we fulfill it, and that is what we are calling on government and reminding them that they should not forget the promise.
Well, hopefully you will get that response very soon. Like you said, you rightly said, COVID-19 seems to have overshadowed everything else that we're doing, but hopefully there'll be some response. Mrs. Cecilia, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We'll come back to you, I'm sure, when there is a response to this. Cecilia Seno is Executive Director of Hope for Future Generation. They're part of a coalition of NGOs pushing for more financing or funding from government towards immunization across the country.